Following from the last video, I promised you that I'll talk about how purpose works. But before we even look at purpose, we need to understand what on earth is going on currently. You probably may feel a bit bad about this, which you should. It's a good thing. Trust me, humility is important in the role of self-improvement. But it's the fact that you don't give yourself time and effort to think about the future. You don't even bother. I guarantee you with this. The reason why you're staying up late watching your phone, or when you wake up early, the first thing is you grab your phone, or perhaps when you're coming from school, you're coming from work, or you're just trying to do your business and you're bothered with some instant form of gratification, it's because you're not giving yourself time to think about the future. The future is indeed scary. You may verbally disagree with me currently, but subconsciously, deep down, you do. You care about the future, but deep down, you just want to stay hidden away from it. Think of it, it's kind of like, for instance, within biology, they say that we either have a fight or flight mode, right? It's one of our hormones, adrenaline, right? It plays a vital role in this. And most of the time we're hiding away, but really we should be facing it. We shouldn't be hiding from something. We should always face something. Because if you're hiding from it, you might as well ignore listening to this video and just stay and continue doing what you normally do, right? So the point is that you're meaninglessly spending time on useless things as you have no vector. What do I mean by no vector? You have no direction. Remember from before the last video I talked about planning. It provides a direction, a vector, both power and direction towards your goal. That is if your plan is correct though, and we've already talked a bit about that. Now, the meaningful question from this is that how on earth do we have purpose? How on earth do I get? How do I know about it? In fact, people spend many years, people meditate in caves for many years. But let me just start saying that it's not easy. Honestly, I procrastinated on this a while. After acknowledging all of those previous things where I didn't even bother, where I would just stay glued onto my phone, right? All form of instant gratification to just make myself feel good in the present moment without acknowledging the future. After that, I realized that purpose wasn't going to come overnight. Maybe it might for you. Honestly, there are some people. So if you do feel as if you feel it, then just continue with it. Your purpose is something that it's not set. It's not something, right? Perhaps there's a certain business you like to open. There's a certain product, a medical product where you want to help people. Maybe you want to open a podcast and start talking to people virtually from your home, right? Something like this. But essentially, when you have that purpose, there's this beautiful burning fire within you. It's so strong, people. It's so strong, honestly. This burning fire makes you just get up out of bed, directly into the work, directly into that focus zone, into that flow state. Now, I mentioned flow state. Flow state itself is quite big. I think I'll mention that in the next podcast. I'll give a bit of an intro for it now. A flow state is essentially where you stay in a certain period of time where you're just doing work, right? It doesn't have to be hours. It doesn't have to be days. It can be years. Look at Alex Hormozi. Amazing guy. Super, super amazing. That's what he's doing. The guy's been in flow state for years. This is why everyone knows him and everyone acknowledges the value that he gives, right? Because his value given is tremendous. It's enormous. It's amazing, right? Even I'm still learning from him because the guy is a genius. The guy's giving a lot of value and he's giving it for free. So I highly recommend you check him out. Honestly. Now, for purpose, to have that burning fire, it's not going to rapidly develop. For fire, just look at the basics. You get two sticks in those typical shows where they rub it against each other with a lot of work. And there's, just think about it, there's discipline required, there's sacrifice, because maybe you have to use something, you have to use the toilet or something, but now you have to keep going, you have to keep rubbing those sticks. You have to create the friction just enough where there's a spark, and then like fumes begin, and then a fire begins. But then those two sticks won't create such a huge fire, am I right? Then you have to put them with a lot of other sticks, which are dry sticks. They're not like they're not wet or anything, because if they are, then it won't really light on fire that easily, right? There's certain conditions that have to be placed. And then once you've done that, then normally people, they place some gasoline on top of it just to ignite it even more. It's more easier to do it. So think of it like that. Like, obviously there's multiple steps. It's not as if you can directly create a large fire. I mean, with the technology we have, right? Just go in your kitchen, you can do that in 1 second. But what I mean is that doing this naturally by yourself outside in the raw element is where things are a totally different story, right? So if we do a quick recap, how does purpose work? Currently, you're in a stage of denial. You may not even believe me, but I trust you. When you've done the deep reflection, you will understand that you actually don't care about your future. You honestly don't. This may sound terrifying and something that you do not want to listen to, but it's true, right? It's sad. But this was the same thing with me. Hey, like I put my hand up, right? This was something that I did too. Was it great? No, absolutely it wasn't great. It was awful. But if you have humility, then you have self-respect within that way. And then you want to take responsibility. So humility is the emotional part where you emotionally grind down, like you're like, oh gosh, like this is what I was doing. And then for responsibility, you want to be like, all right, I'll take this upon myself. I'll take this upon myself. Just say that out loud if you want to. I will take this upon myself. This is my responsibility. And from this, I will create an action to avoid this in the future. Now, the avoiding part is just purely discipline within a way. Keep doing discipline. I think we need to talk about discipline in one of the next videos. So hopefully that's given a bit more, right? And now just on the foundations of purpose, or like what's the disruptors for it essentially. Now, just a quick summary of what you want to do. Just sit down in one place. Sit in your room. If not, go outside, go in the park. Just take your phone with you, maybe. Actually, don't. If you can, avoid taking your phone. Go sit in the park. Enjoy. Just sit there for 2-3 hours. Just detox literally, like your mind from all these wandering thoughts and everything. Just sit there, enjoy the view. If it's raining, it's raining. If it's sunny, it's sunny. If it's windy, it's windy. Who cares? You go out and you do it. Go in your garden instead, right? But keep everything away from you. Wear a watch if you like to. In fact, no, actually, don't even wear a watch. Just don't even like have any contact with the actual elements of this world. Like, just stay in contact with nature, right? Stay there, sit there for a few hours, acknowledge what on earth is going on, and just think about it, like, what on earth do I want to do, right? What on earth do I want to do? Not something that I'm forced to do by my parents. Not something that I wish I could do, by the way. If you want to like do something crazy, then do it. Like, just you just have to set that thing. Once again, I'm going back to the planning place. You set it and then you go back. Perhaps you may have heard planning several times throughout this single video. So I highly recommend you just go one of it was just the previous video. Just go there and pretty much understand planning overall. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a lovely day.